Welcome to our final video in Module 3. We will continue to work on our plan for our goals. Now that we have identified the mindsets and behaviors and corresponding learning objectives, we will want to address and teach students to help us meet our goals. We'll now look at possible activities, strategies, and interventions, and pre- and post-assessments of those strategies, activities, and interventions. When identifying potential strategies and activities to help us reach our goals, start by thinking about how you will address the mindsets and behaviors and learning objectives you identified for each goal. Is there a classroom lesson or series of lessons, a large group presentation or small group you could deliver? Are there other indirect student services that might be appropriate, such as a parent workshop or conference, staff development on classroom strategies, or other means? Think not only about what you already do, but what are some other options that might be more out of the box thinking. Look what other schools might be doing, what the research says is effective, and what are best practices. Also, think about both direct and indirect services you provide to and for students. Direct services are the activities, interventions, and services we deliver to students, and indirect services are those we do for or on behalf of students. Direct services include individual and group counseling, classroom and large group instruction, and appraisal and advising. Indirect services include referrals, consultation, and collaboration. We'll work on developing classroom and/or small group lesson plans in later modules. For now, just list possible activities, strategies, and interventions for each of your goals. Also be sure to include both direct and indirect services. Finally, as the final part of our student outcome goal plans, we'll draft questions to help create pre- and post-tests to deliver to students with our interventions. These will be based on our learning objectives and will help us assess if students have attained the attitudes, knowledge, or skills described by the learning objectives. Very simply, you can take your learning objectives and turn them into questions. It's best if you keep the pre-post assessments easy to administer and easy to score. This will make the results easy to analyze. No more than 3 to 5 questions or prompts are needed. This keeps your assessment focused and on the specific learning objectives and interventions you're addressing and requires the least amount of time to complete and score the assessment. You can write your questions as short answer questions, as we've done here, or using a Likert scale. You can select how many responses you would like to use for your scale from the drop-down menu. You can also enter the response items you wish to use. Pre-post assessments are delivered at the start and end of your lesson in small group and can be delivered using whatever method works best for you and your students. You might use a tool such as Google Forms or a Mentipoll, Plickers, or any other digital or online tool that can be used for creating assessments. Or you might use paper and pencil. Or for younger grades, you might even ask questions by a show of hands and tally the results. The method you use to deliver your pre-post assessment is really up to you and what works best for your situation. What ultimately matters is that you're assessing student attainment of the skills and knowledge you're addressing. Your tasks to complete for selecting your mindsets and behaviors and learning objectives and to finish Module 3 are: 1. List activities, strategies, interventions by school counselors for each goal, making sure to include at least one lesson plan for each of the goals and both direct and indirect services. 2. Write 1 to 2 pre-post assessment questions for each learning objective. Another exciting step forward. Please remember to reach out with any questions or concerns. You can contact me at rfraser@doe.in.gov. If your question pertains to the online platform, you can also contact Amy Portis of Inspire Success, our technical partner, at amy@inspiresuccess.org.